Okay, I see. So are we live?
Are we live?
Are we live? So we are so very quiet. Are we live or not?
I think we are. What do you think? And today we will be talking about how do we change perception of others or perception of us. Can we do it?
Let me think. Yes. So I'm still looking to see if we are live or not. That's why I'm like, I am not sure. But yes, sure, we can do that. So perfectly. I love this theme about perception because it's always what I teach the people working with me, and I teach children as well to see that the perception they have of the world. So great theme, great question. Thank you for having asked that last week. We can definitely start with that. So,
yes, because perception of others, because I could sometimes it's happening when people see us slightly differently, when we want to, the way rather than the way we want them to see us, and sometimes we think it's not right perception. They don't understand us. So how can we support? How can we change that, Christelle?
Yeah, so as the question came, I had two things coming in my mind. The first one is that the people have a perception, okay, of me, for example. They have a perception, and this perception is wrong. That is possible. It's definitely possible.
Yeah, that's what you thought. Their perception of me is wrong. They think
exactly
you've been making them wrong because
exactly it's my how to say mistake. I did that wrong, and I did that as I was like 15 17. I can explain that how I changed that as well. And I remember as well, like 1 year ago, someone told me exactly that the perception she had from me was wrong. When she started to discuss with me, she had seen a completely different kind of person. And
what do people think about you? What do you mean been wrong?
Okay, so I explain you really one story, and this story changed my life. It was really a life-changing moment for me. So I was about 15, and as I was 15 until so 17, 18, I was a kind of person very into my spirit, and I didn't really communicate a lot, and I didn't smile a lot. And a lot of people told me during these two years, oh, you looked arrogant, you looked very cold, and I didn't dare really speak with you. And I had that from different kind of people, women, as a girl and boy, and in different kind of schools as well, because I changed schools. So I was like, so if different kind of people,
for short period of time, the same thing being told you.
Yeah, 2 years. During 2 years, different people, different circumstances, different school tell me exactly the same. You look arrogant, you look cold, and I didn't dare speak with you. And then when they came in contact with me, they have seen that I'm not this kind of person. They told me, oh, but you are cool, and you are nice, and you are not arrogant at all. I thought that the last 2 years, but now not. And I was like, oh, okay. So it seems to be that the image I gave to the people is an arrogant, cold person.
Yeah.
I have to change that.
And what you've done to change it?
How? Okay, what I have done. So I can remember it was summer. I think I was becoming 18, and I had a summer job, and during this summer job, I had to control the ticket in the train. So during this summer job, I knew that I would meet a lot of new person. So I decided to change my image, to change the perception they would have at that moment. So what I have done, I look at a book, And the book name is how to make friends and to influence them, or something like that, from Dale Carnegie, very, very, very well known. And I read this book, and it's very few easy things you can do. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try that. I have the whole summer to try it. So I tried that, and it's amazing. You know what?
What did you try? What did you change?
Well, it worked very good. The first very thing I changed, I can remember I came in the train station with the train. I opened the door and I had to say hello to the people on the platform. And then the first thing I had done, I smiled. And that changed completely the relationship I had with people. So before that, I'd never smiled, or not really, or not in purpose. And after that, I decided, okay, every time I meet a new person, like 2 meters far away from me, I start to smile. And then what happened? You have the smile back, and you think, oh, this person is cool. And then the whole scenario changed. And then the people at that time, the people started to say, oh, but you are nice, you are friendly, it's easy to come to you, it's easy to speak with you. And everybody, every time someone tell me that now, still like more than 20 years later, I'm like, I know, because it was really something I worked on it. I worked to change the perception that people had from me.
Yeah, so there are a few people watching us. Guys, what do you think about this first step? If this will change the perception of us? What do you think if the smiley person comes to you? Is it's how do we feel? And you know what? Quite often is happening. That's what we do with the loved ones. That's what we quite often we give a smile to strange people that we passing by during a walk, but we actually smile to people in the house or with the closed ones or with the teenagers. I know myself. I would be nice to strange people. I would be nice and smiley somewhere outside, but as soon as I stepping into the house, I'm straight away see this kind of like, oh, dog still sitting here without walk. And then I put these masks on.
Yeah, exactly.
Who has these masks when they're stepping into the house and they see the dishes dirty? I'm not sure even if it's this mask. It might be this one. It might not be crying, but could be angry mask, because I could see straight away mistakes. But outside, I've been just nice and smiley.
Yes, and what my problem, I was teenager. It was I was really in deep conversation with myself. So I wasn't very happy about my life and in myself. So I had this very serious mask all the time, and I was always like trying to figure it out. And at that moment, so it was what the people could see of my personality. And then I decided to stop thinking about myself all the time, but just to change the way I see life and to put myself in contact with the person in front of me and to smile. So it's how I change the perceptions.
Yeah, but what was the thing that make you think something is wrong with me? Because,
well, you know, when one person tell you, I don't know, like today, if one person tell me, oh, you are arrogant, I would think, okay, you are one person among 100, and I don't feel arrogant. I feel comfortable with myself, and so I'm not going to change that. So it's his perception, and I don't care somehow. But when you have like 10%, 20%, or more than that, telling you that it's how they see you. So maybe you can think, oh, there is kind of reality there. So maybe I might have a look at it. Maybe I don't like it. It's a possibility. but maybe it's kind of true. If there is a lot of people seeing the same thing, it's kind of true. And then you can decide by yourself if you want to change that or not. So you can decide by yourself if it's fine for you. I mean, looking arrogant and so on, maybe it's completely fine for you. Maybe you don't have to change that. And one thing I have, one other story I have about the wrong perception, and this one is like last year. I met a person, and because I kind of quiet person, and I always think what I know, everybody knows that. It's nothing special. And that's why I never really try to push to say what I know. And I'm always like listening more than explaining. And then this person told me, you know, you are very interesting, you know a lot, but the first time I saw you, or the last time, so we have been like 2-3 days together, and she told me, it was kind of, I thought you were just like a mom of 3 and that's it, so not very interesting somehow. And as she started to discuss with me, she found that I was more interesting, and the perception I give sometimes, and I know that it's like, she's quiet, she doesn't have nothing to say. And it's because of the perception I have about my knowledge. So, and again, the perception I give to the others, it has to do with my perception about my person. Because I think what I know, everything knows that. So if I could find that in a book.
That's what you think, but it's not necessary, right?
No, it's not the truth. It's not the truth, because I am passionate about what I do, and I know far more than a lot of people, but it's my belief system. Yeah. And my belief system, let me think, I am a very standard person, and I don't know more than others, and I don't have to explain what I know. And then that's why the perception that some people have, it's like, she's boring, she's not interesting. Okay. But it has to do with my own perception about my own knowledge and my own value.
Exactly. Okay, and tell us a little bit quickly story about your husband, because I think that would be useful for our listeners too, because most of the time, well, it's a lot of the time, it's happening problem with the husband, with the partners, always close people. So when they take us slightly differently than we are. So tell this story, because I think it would be very useful for people.
Okay, so this story about perception is different, because I think in this case, he has the right perception, but I didn't want to see that. So the story is like 5 years ago, I was engineer, or 6 years ago, I was engineer, I decided to change. I decided to become a coach. And I can remember the first time I had big contract. I was like, oh my God. So I have this big contract, it's huge, it's great, I'm happy, but I'm freaking out. And so I thought, I have a husband, and a husband has to be there to support their wife, right? So I went to my husband and I told him, oh, I have this big contract. And I thought, he will support myself, he will encourage myself. And then my husband came and slapped me psychologically, because, oh, that's huge. Are you going to be able to do that? And
you put question mark on your abilities, because you've been doubting yourself about this, and he added more of the question.
Yeah. Okay. And I was so upset about him. And I thought, and that was my perception, I thought, okay, I ask for support and he's not able to give me the support I need, and he doesn't believe in myself. He just had a question mark. But for me, I did shortcut, you know. So for me, it was okay. He doesn't believe in myself, and he doesn't support me. That means he doesn't love me. Boom, boom, boom. So if this guy doesn't love me, why I'm staying with him?
Yeah.
And it took me really long time to see that was completely wrong. and that I had the perception that I am not good enough. And what it just did, it's like a mirror of my own perception, but I didn't want to see that.
So
and
you saying your own perception about yourself wasn't really good, and your husband showed you this, said it to you.
Yeah.
Then you started questioning your own ability. But realistically, what was there?
Realistically, realistically, it did nothing, really, nothing bad anyway. I just wanted some support, and I expected from him this support.
Yeah.
You know, this expectation. And at that moment where I didn't have the support, then I decided that he didn't love me. The thing is that I had a kind of support, but not this one. And at that moment where I decided to work on my perception, to admit that I don't feel secure, to look at how I could feel secure without asking my husband, because that's not really something he could give me.
Yeah.
Then I changed my perception, and then
perception about yourself.
Yes, definitely. And then he started to mirror that as well. And then I have seen that he felt confident too about myself, my skill, and so on. And
finish up.
The interesting things that a few months later, I told you, oh, you didn't. So my perception was, you didn't support me. You wasn't there. And his perception was, I did support you. I was there. It was, well, what? So I don't believe that. So I felt he wasn't there, and he felt he was there for me. So we had two completely different perceptions of the situation. And then I found out that I wanted one kind of support, and he gave me another kind of support, which was very important too. But I was so into my, yeah, he doesn't love me, he doesn't support me, and I expect that I couldn't really see all the other things he was able to give me, and how he was able to support me. So perception, all about perception. And perception about myself, perception about the situation.
You see, what we sometimes thinking, and we actually doing it a lot of time in our mind, we expecting something from our partners to read our mind, or to doing it a lot of time in our mind. We expecting something. Oh my God, what is happening?
For the sorry.
So we expecting them to do this without even talking about that. And then what is happening, guys? Who knows what is happening when we expecting a lot, especially without communication. Especially if I could come and say, look, I have this project and I need your support here. Can you tell me that I'm good enough? Can you tell me this? Or can you bring kids to school? Or can you pick up kids from school? Can you cook maybe 3 times a week dinner? And that would be your support, or whatever way you need it. But we don't do this. And then oh my God, you didn't support me that. You didn't say hello to me there. You didn't hook me when I needed. But you know, what we expecting without communicating through what guys happening. In 99.5%.
Alfred said he has to go, and he doesn't have any expectation anyway. Expectation and disappointment. I agree, definitely.
99%. I kind of cannot see my messages.
Sharon has a question, I think.
Yeah. Just look on Sharon. For some reason, it looks like I'm on the wrong page.
So Sharon asked, do you think that sometimes you need to hear what those close to you are thinking about you in order to work on ourselves and our perception?
Absolutely, guys. And you know what? This is bringing us to next week our chat, when we will be talking about successful conversations. How can we have successful conversations that could people, because sometimes obviously something is missing. What is missing in the what was missing, Christelle, in your case with a husband? You thought he needed this and he thought he needed that, and you eventually wasn't happy because he's perceiving you, he thought he's helping, you didn't feel supported. What was missing there?
Yeah, I can tell you what was missing. So I didn't ask because I wanted to have this support, and I expected that husband has to give this kind of support, and that was all. And at that moment when I decided, I thought, okay, it's what I need for sure, but it's not what he is able, he cannot right now give me this kind of support.
That's
so, but
at that moment,
yeah, at that moment, it just was not possible for him. And regarding of his character and so on, it's just not the kind of person able to give this kind of things. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to ask someone to give me something he's not able to give me. So I find this kind of support somewhere else. I stopped to expect that from my husband. And I have seen all the other support he gave me at that time. I have seen that. And what I have done sometimes is I find that very funny, because we had a laugh about that. Every time I came back home with like good contract, completely freaked out, but very happy, I was like, okay. You know what, Martin, it's the name of my husband. I have a news, and it is a good news, okay? So it's a good news. I'm going to tell it my good news, and you are going to react like that. And I told you, okay, you are going to say, oh, great, Christelle, I'm happy for you. And we are going to clutch or whatever. And it was completely fake, but it was very funny, because every time he say, okay, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, yeah, I have a great news. I have this new contract. It was like, oh, great, it's a great news. I'm very happy for you. And was like, yes, it's exactly what I wanted to hear. And then we laugh, and that it was all good.
Then if you needed help, you went for that sort of help. You went to another person for help. And probably husband supported you the way he could support you in the house or in the environment. Exactly. Yeah. Because and that's what was the missing puzzle. It's just communication between two of you. You said to him what you're looking for and what you need at that moment. Because when we just expecting them to be a mind reader, especially the women, we are. If I just turn my nose away, if I wouldn't talk to him for 3 days, he's supposed to figure out what I'm pissed off with. Who knows what I'm talking about? Women, tell me, who knows, who doing the same thing and expecting the man to be our mind reader and do whatever? Just one thought comes to my mind, and I'm expecting we expecting them to read our mind.
Yeah, exactly. So Sharon says, girls, I need you in my home, in my house for a week.
Here you go. Yeah.
Okay. We come over with children and so on. So I come with a
woman. Yeah.
Yeah. So Claudia says as well, energy goes down, and I think energy goes down when we have too much perception, and then we are
and then
disappointed.
Because the husband, unfortunately, he's not freaking mind reader. Then I'm coming with this face to him, and what he sees. This grumpy woman, he pissed off to see grumpy, and he's thinking, whatever I do, she's never happy, and just, and then what he's doing, oh my God, he's crying, he doesn't love me, I don't know. And then going outside and saying, oh my God, but I'm pretty, I'm really good with everyone else. Who knows what I'm talking about? How many of us wearing these freaking masks everywhere, but we forgetting this, we're throwing it away when we come into the house.
Yeah, so that's why I think we really have to stay authentic and to know the kind of person we are. And it's fine to put some filters and some mask, but it's good to know that depending on the filter or the mask we put, we are going to give another perception, or we are going to understand the perception differently. And I agree with Sharon, and to say it might be interesting sometimes to ask our friends. You know, I find really asking feedbacks is always good. So asking feedbacks at home, asking feedbacks at work, just asking around, and to have an idea, because if the perception they have is right, then it's good, we can change this if we want. If the perception they have is wrong, maybe it's because of us, or maybe it's because of them, because they just have some difficulties right now, maybe we can help. So it's really having a connection with the reality right now around ourselves and with our inner reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, with feedback, be prepared. If you brave enough to ask for feedback, it could
honest feedback,
could be very painful. But
Yeah.
you know what? Without truthful feedback, you cannot do anything. Can you imagine if somebody, athlete who's training for Olympic Games, if their coach been saying, you're all right, it's good for you, it's okay, if he will be petting him all the time, would that athlete will get any results? Guys, the same in life. If you want to be happy, if you want to be better person, just look for feedback, because sometimes we think we are angels and someone else is a demon.
Exactly. Well, with feedback, I would say just take them, don't react, just take them. Thank you for sharing. You take them, and maybe you can react 1, 2, 3 days after, but not directly, because if the feedback are strong and not what you want to hear, you are like, don't react, just wait. And maybe one day after you can say, yeah, it might be kind of true. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look for another questions. Look what or comments. Just read me, Christelle, then, because look at that from my page, looking on there. And then if it's any questions, we continue this conversation next week.
Yeah, exactly.
How to communicate successfully. Guys, I actually, when I saw this formula a couple of days ago, so simple but so powerful.
Yeah,
I was completely shocked by seeing. I thought I know enough, but this is so simple formula we'll share with you next week.
Great.
You would be just surprised. So tune in next week for the continue of that conversation. How to create. It's all about creating a beautiful relationship between each other. That's all what about. That's all what about communicating with love and compassion, and forget about fears, and you know, don't suppress anything, that because suppression killing us in the long term.
Yeah.
If suppress whatever you want to say, guys, it's killing you from inside. It's killing your emotions, killing you from inside, killing the physical body. Even if you, especially if it's suppressed years and years and years. And then,
I agree.
And then you don't know, and then your body, your doctors would. I see people, even doctors don't understand what is happening, and that's what is happening because simply your emotions, suppressed emotions, there for years, you packing this crap and there holding, and then doctors don't know what to do with you.
Yeah. So Sharon says. 3 things. So she comes back to the story with my husband, and she said, I think explaining to your husband I have news and good news, etc., changed the pattern. And it might feel fake at the first. It was really fake, but it was very nice. And but retraining it can change things. And she said she cannot wait for next week. Yeah. And I wanted to thank Sharon for the question. And really, you can really ask question right now on the chat or on private message. And we were going to be happy to answer this kind of question. So thank you, because this one was a great question. I loved it.
Amazing. Guys, if you have any questions want us to cover, let's do it. Let's do it for someone special, because you know we answering Sharon's questions, but I'm sure all other listeners taking it to their own understanding and to their own learnings, because that's what it's all about. But it's much better if we supporting one person. It's just amazing then.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
thank you, Sharon, for questions. So thank you, Christelle, for your story. Guys, just
thank you for your filters, and that's, yeah, exactly. Expectation is really the killer.
You know what you can do instead of expectation? We'll tell you next week.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Yeah, we tell you next week. I cannot wait until next week then.
Okay, guys. So thank you
Okay.
very much, and see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.